Hey everybody, it's the coach, and this is Madden 19 on EA Sports. Coming up, we've got a good one on tap between the Houston Oilers and the Pittsburgh Steelers. I'll have scores around the league for you at the half, but it's time for a little football. So we'll hand it over to our broadcast team, Brandon Godden and Charles Davis.
Right at the convergence of the Three Rivers on Art Rooney Drive, we welcome you to Heinz Field in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. A few moments ago, the Steeler offensive starters, including all-pro wideout Antonio Brown, were introduced. Now they've got this crowd in a frenzy as they get set to square off with their opponents. With Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Gaudin. Charles, we look at this Steeler ball club entering play. They were winners last time out, so they'll be looking, Charles, to make it 2 in a row.
And what I enjoyed when I watched their game tape and their victory last week is they put it together in every phase. Good offense, good defense, and some key plays on special teams. Let's see if they can get that second win in a row.
On the other side of the field for our visitors here, an early season tilt. And when it's an early season tilt, should be ready to roll.
But let's face it, the aches and pains haven't really set in yet. And both teams eyeing a really good start to get things going.
2-1-2 teams, each hoping to get back to 500, and we're underway in Week 4. Here comes Ryan Switzer to return it. And they're going to start this drive in pretty good shape as they get it up past the 30. So the Steelers offense getting set for their first drive. They'll be led out by the former Heisman Trophy winner and #1 overall pick from Oklahoma. It's Sam Bradford.
I like this guy, and the reason I do, he tends to stay on an even keel. Doesn't let too much ruffle him. He will manage the game the way it needs to be managed, take what the defense gives him, and then he can strike at times. Had a touchdown pass. Yes, he had an interception last week, but he found a way for his team to win.
A handoff to Harris to begin the drive. And he went backwards. He'll be down at the 30. It's a loss of a yard there, and now second down. Okay, there's a tone setter. First play from scrimmage. Stuff him in the backfield.
You know what they were doing last night in the hotel room? Visualizing exactly that. That's what they were thinking about. Making that play, having leverage, lower than the offensive lineman, getting into the offensive backfield, knocking someone down. Just what you said, setting the tone early for this game.
Jeez, you are fired up.
When I see a play like that, I can't help it.
Now Harris. Gets through, and now an opening. And he's going to get this down to the 35-yard line. That one's good for 35 yards on the ground and a first down.
Well, that was a great example of what we've been told from the time we first put on pads as little guys in the backyard. Effort will be rewarded if you keep giving it. And how about that run? Broke through a couple of tackles, refused to go down, legs churning. I like what I saw there.
So that changes things a bit. Here's a 1st and 10 all the way down at the 35. Harris. The numbers for him from a week ago. 18 carries, 63 yards.
And that explosive run right there reminds me that last week ran the ball really well, so they're continuing to do what they did in the previous game, run the ball and run it successfully. Expect that to continue throughout this one. They did tell us they wanted to establish the ground game early, didn't they?
They did, in a small sample size that we've seen so far, but pretty good return.
Yeah, you got to like that. They strung together a couple of first downs, established what they wanted, the running game. And guess what? They also got their lead guy running it pretty well, too.
Now a nice play defensively on first down as this is knocked away and incomplete. And a peek now at the offense for Pittsburgh.
Out wide was the youngest player in the NFL in 2017, Juju Smith-Schuster. And he also had the longest reception in the league last season at 97 yards. Actually well-schooled in route running and able to run from both outside and moving inside to the slot position in order to make big plays.
To throw, Bradford. And he's just going to get rid of this thing. To no one here. He throws it away. And now it's third. Time for a look at our starters here on defense. Into this game, they're ranked number 22 in the NFL against the pass, Charles.
And even though that's not the greatest ranking in the world, one thing you can say, they get after the quarterback. They're in the top 10 in the league in sacks.
This offense was on the move. Now 2 straight incompletions have them looking at 3rd and 10. From the shotgun, it's Bradford. And incomplete. He had nowhere to throw, so he just tossed it away. But that brings up 4th.
What's the old adage? Be quick, but don't hurry? Well, that went right out the window there. He was hurried, harassed. That ball had to be gotten rid of. Otherwise, he was going to get sacked.
And Elliott puts this one through. And the Steelers will jump out to a 3-zip lead. So pretty good opening drive. That'll make the home fans somewhat happy. They wanted 6, but they got 3 in the early lead.
And they should be happy. The guys look good getting down the field. That's got to give them a little bit of hope that good things are in store here today for them.
And that'll carry over the back line of the end zone for a touchback. So out comes this offense to take over for the first time. They'll have a former Heisman Trophy winner calling the shots, hailing from the island of Oahu in Hawaii, Marcus Mariota.
Coming off of a loss their last time out, I think he's just seeking to make a bigger impact on the game. He threw a touchdown pass, didn't throw an interception. I think he just wants to jump those numbers up in terms of flinging it around and letting his receivers get into the end zone.
Now a first carry for Derrick Henry. And he will lose yardage here back at the 23-yard line. It's a loss of 2 there, bringing up 2nd down.
But we just saw a great example of what we talked about with his coach prior to the game. He's definitely one of the better linebackers at reading a play and flowing to make the stop before it turns into something big.
So the opening play of the drive goes backwards. Now they'll come up on 2nd and 12. Now Mariota. It comes, and he lost the football. Mariota had it jarred loose. And it's picked up by the Steelers. And they will set up shop, red zone territory at the 13-yard line. And a defensive-minded coach loves to turn up the heat, turns it up there, it pays off.
And back in the good old days, those defensive-minded coaches just talked about intimidating teams, using force, right, beating them to the punch. In this case, they're talking about creating turnovers. That's all they preach, all game long, all practice long, every meeting. Get the football. That's what they want.
This is Harris. And he goes backwards here, losing yardage back to the 16. A loss of a full 3 yards, and now it's 2nd down.
All right, quick observation, Brandon, because early on in this game, I'm seeing linebackers playing with their noses close to the line of scrimmage.
And my guess is the wheels are turning on that other sideline. As a play caller, you're filing that away right now, aren't you?
Yeah, you're trying to find that opportunity later on when you can play action them or stick something to them between the 2nd and the 3rd level.
They run with Harris. And this play gets blown up. They'll lose yardage back at the 17. It'll be a loss of 1, and that'll make it 3rd and 13.
Wow, that play got shut down in a hurry.
As soon as the snap came, you could see defensively they were just closing in. That was going nowhere.
Yeah, you count on your offensive line to give you a little bit of space, a little bit of time so you can make a move. There was none there for him.
Bradford now. He dropped it. Couldn't hang on in the end zone. So no 6 points, incomplete. Those passes out that far wide always make you hold your breath a little bit. Felt like it was in the air for a while.
What it does is it allows a defender to gain some ground, come from a long distance, and have a chance to affect the pass.
And the kick by Elliott is good. And that'll make it 6-0 here in the first. So not sure how they feel about that. They had golden field position to start the drive after the fumble recovery, but they went backward and then got 3.
Well, let's go from gold to silver, because the silver lining is they got the 3, right? You were talking about the golden field position. They didn't take advantage of it. That has to feel like a letdown.
You always stand ready to pounce. Always. And now out comes Houston. And last time they coughed it up, led to a field goal. They're fortunate that it only led to a field goal, but still, they're not happy about it.
Could you sense the relief, though, when they only gave up the field goal? And they were able to trot back out on the field and start this drive. A little more pep in their step because they didn't cost their team a touchdown. But they know they've got to do it a lot better than they did on the last possession.
The coach will just be relieved, though, if they recoup with a score here, right?
I think the coach will be ecstatic to see them pick themselves back up and now take it downfield, punching the ends.
Touchdown, Houston! A big play there. His 5th touchdown now on the year. And his guys are an extra point away now from taking the lead. Well, he's used to running it that distance. Here he had to catch it, too, before making the run. Heck of a play for the score.
There's not many things better for an offense than a back who's a complete guy, who can run it and catch it. And we just saw him complete a big-time play for a touchdown.
Ryan Suckup on for the point after. Extra point put through by Suckup, and they take the lead here at 7-6. One of the shortest drives you'll ever see. One play, 75 yards, 6 points. Set now to kick this one away, and off it goes. Switzer now to return. They find some open field here. And he'll return this one all the way out of the other side of the field.
Partner, when I was in college, we used to have these things called game maxims that we did before every game. One of them said, press the kicking game. For here's where the breaks are made. It's the area of hidden yardage. How about that return? Flipping the field, taking it past the 50, and getting things set up to start the series.
Now a play fake here on first down. And he's going to drop this off to his fullback. And he'll go out of bounds after taking it a little further down inside the 40. 7 yards on the play, and it'll make it second down. So finally completes his first pass. Credit the defense, though. They've been showing him some different looks, keeping him off balance.
Yeah, I like the observation that you had there, because when you give him different looks and give any quarterback different looks, it takes just a little bit longer to process sometimes, and you don't throw the ball with the same confidence. You're not sure that that's where you should go with the football. And that's worked for the defense early in this game, and now he's got his first completion. Let's see if his confidence comes back, and he starts to get into a nice little groove.
They'll run it now out of the gun. And a pretty big hole as he's down to about the 40. It's a 7-yard pickup. They'll be looking now to 3rd and 6. Getting the sense, Charles, they're going to put a big emphasis this afternoon on the run game.
And why not? What we're seeing so far is working pretty well from them. And here's the best part. We always talk about the best performers do their job when the lights come on. I think he likes natural light best.
Bradford, and that is incomplete.
And what did we talk with them about prior to the game? Their ability to move the chains, pick up first downs. So far, 0 for 3 on 3rd down. If that continues, they'll have little chance of winning this one.
And he put enough leg into it, but it's well off to the right and no good. And this score will stay right where it is.
It looked good when it left his foot, but he kind of sliced it a little bit, and he winds up missing it wide right.
And now out comes Houston. And following that long touchdown pass, a one-play drive last time, let's see if the defense, you know they're ready. They don't want that to happen again.
And you would have thought they would have been ready the last time. I mean, that's what you work on all the time. Make sure that no one gets behind you. That's the cardinal sin of defense, not giving up the long pass. They did. Let's see how they adjust.
A pass for negative yardage, obviously no good. Maybe he shouldn't have thrown it, or maybe he shouldn't have caught it.
And I think we were seeing it at the same time, weren't we? Maybe you let that one go, right? Because you can see the lost yardage about to develop. But that goes against every instinct of a receiver. They're taught to catch everything. So it's really hard to be mad at him and yell at him for trying to make that play.
He lost 2 there, and it's 3rd down.
He has elite instincts from his linebacker spot. He's able to diagnose the run and flies in like a missile to stop that one behind the line of scrimmage.
3rd and long here for Mariota. A hit as he throws there, incomplete.
They're bringing a lot of pressure here already in the first quarter. Already sacked him once. Now they get in there and knock another one away. You think maybe that Tucker rule being gone makes defenses a lot bolder?
Yes, indeed. That time, lucky that the arm was going forward, incomplete pass. 36 yards on the punt with no return. And the Steelers will go on offense here, 1st and 10. Pittsburgh's offense now heading back out onto the field. Last time out, they had that long 50-plus yard field goal that they missed.
And I'm sure on their sideline, they're thinking to themselves, okay, do we still want to try one if we're in that position again? And I would dare say that the answer would be yes. They're going to have a lot of confidence in their kicker. But just to be on the safe side, I'm sure they told their offensive guys, can we get a little bit closer this time?
Closer.
Yeah, well, you know, I'd rather get in the end zone first and foremost. But if all else fails, less of a field goal attempt for him. Perfectly designed blitz right there. They took that one from the grease board to the field because they were able to free up their linebacker to get into the backfield and spill the play.
First play of the drive goes the wrong way. Here's 2nd and 12. Here's Harris. They'll lose a yard, and it brings up 3rd.
Yeah, and that was a safety that came through and made the play. But there's no doubt in my mind, he hits like a linebacker, and we see a lot of that in today's NFL, don't we?
And that time we do indeed. A big hit for a loss. On 3rd down, Bradford. Open man, Smith-Schuster, it's complete. A really nice gain of 25 yards. He's such a good route runner. Shows it there on 3rd down. Very proficient and a good pass.
And you know what I've observed over the years in the NFL? The better a route runner you are, the more confidence your guy's going to have in you to go to you in important times because he can trust you being in the right spot, and they connected there and picked up a 1st down.
So here, the men in charge are going to be looking at whether or not the receiver had possession of the ball as he went out of bounds.
And they have to make sure that the receiver got both feet down in bounds as well.
After review of the play, the ruling on the field stands.
Well, he challenged the play. It did not pay off.
And that means he lost a timeout in that challenge.
And as a coach, you hate that. Don't know if you took the advice of the player, you threw it yourself, but it didn't go your way.
At the end of the day, it all comes back to the head coach. He has the final determination on whether to actually challenge the play or not. In this case, it didn't pay off for him.
And that's got to be so heartbreaking. You throw that flag, you probably feel really confident, and then all of a sudden, boom, you lose the challenge.
Yeah, when you take a look at it, you're throwing that flag because you believe you're going to be right. And when it comes back the other way, you have to regroup.
Officially, no gain on the play, and they're left with a 3rd and 8.
As usual, the hallmark of a good run defense, linebackers making plays near the line of scrimmage. Absolutely nowhere to run there.
On 3rd down, Bradford. That's incomplete, but there is a flag down, so hang on. A big call coming on 3rd down.
Holding, offense.
So instead of giving them another 3rd down, they'll decline it, brings up 4.
Now that's smart football right there. You don't even have to really spend a lot of time considering it. Just know that you're probably going to get the ball back. Good job declining that penalty.
And now out comes Houston. They've got the lead. Last time had to punt it, though. What's the key to this drive?
I think it's leverage. The
leverage.
Big guys up front. You know the motivational speech on the sideline is, guys, give us an opportunity. Protect the passer, create space for our runners, and let's go ahead and get these guys. Low man wins. Let's go do it on this drive.
We'll watch that leverage on this drive. Call it a gain of 4 on first, and that'll make it second down. And the big boys up front in the trenches. What do you think of the O-line, Charles?
I love them because this is a group that's so cohesive. They know what the man next to them is going to do at all times, and they operate as a terrific unit.
They'll come up 2nd and 6 now from the 24. Now it's a bootleg with Mariota. He's going to leave this for his running back. It's complete. And he's able to get up here to the 26. They'll get a couple yards on that one. And all of a sudden here, it's 3rd down. Now a look at the defensive starters here for the Steelers. They were excellent a week ago in that victory over the Colts.
And what I saw on film was nearly an unstoppable pass rush. They had 5 sacks last week, plenty of hurries. So now do you just max protect on offense, keep everyone in and run, 1 or 2 receiver routes to make sure your quarterback stays up? We'll soon find out.
From the shotgun, it's Mariota. And this is going to be incomplete.
I think the punter might start to get into a pretty good rhythm here if he keeps getting opportunities. But that's the last thing his team wants to have happen, right? The last thing you want to see is your punter feeling pretty good because he's out there all the time.
Yeah, first quarter only, but they're 0 for 2 on 3rd down conversions to start this thing. Yeah, call it 38 yards on the punt, no return. And the Steelers set to take the field. And our game's hit a little bit of a lull here, a little bit of a snag. Punts on back-to-back drives.
And old school coaches don't necessarily mind that. Didn't turn it over, right? Didn't create a big play for the other team. Right now what you're looking for is can you gain an advantage in field position? And that's what both teams are seeking right now.
Yeah, they'll be seeking to gain that advantage here on this drive. Meanwhile, they take a shot to start the drive, but this is going to wind up incomplete.
It's never a bad idea to try and get it to Antonio Brown, but there must be a little bit of the Madden curse going on for our cover athlete here. Hasn't been able to get that elite separation that we're used to seeing from him.
They run with Harris, and he'll be limited to a short gain up to about the 34-yard line. Give him 3 on the play, and that's going to lead to a 3rd down.
Well, that's a good start to this drive on the defensive side of the ball.
Force the incompletion on 1st down. Then you're able to shut down the running play on 2nd.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised now. A little bit of pressure going at the quarterback in the expected passing situation.
To throw on 3rd down. Bradford. And he finds McDonald. And he gets this one to midfield before he's brought down. His first catch, good for 16 and a first.
The goal for any offense versus his own defense, find the holes where guys are available and put the ball on the receiver before any defender can step up and fill it.
They did it well there. Perfectly executed crossing route. They'll run it now out of the gun. And that play goes nowhere. Taken down, losing yardage at the 50, right at midfield. That's going to go as a loss of a yard, and it'll be 2nd down.
That goes down as a loss against his rushing stats. But really, should he have to absorb that one? He had no chance on that play before they overwhelmed him.
Pretty much on top of him before he could take his first step. This is Harris. And he was able to shed the tackle, but the reserves come in for the stop. Give him 2 on that run, and they're still left looking at a 3rd and about 9 to go.
Typically, we think it's the strong safeties that are better tacklers, especially closer to the line of scrimmage amidst traffic. But in this case, how about the free safety coming up and making the big-time play?
Here's Bradford. And that one is incomplete. And it also concludes quarter number 1. at the end of one. 7-6 our score. More from the Steel City coming up after this.
The NFL on EA Sports is fueled by Gatorade, the sports fuel company.
Back with Charles Davis, Brandon Gaudin. It's Steeler football to begin quarter number 2. They are, however, facing a 4th down situation. And the punter's on the sideline. Here's the field goal unit now to try an exceptionally long one. And this will be called officially a 66-yard attempt. And that one's not going to get there. Not enough juice. An ambitious effort, but it's well short. And this score will stay right where it is. So make it 2 missed field goals for him now, but I have the sense, given that distance, you could probably forgive him here on this one.
Yeah, this is out of the range of just about anybody on planet Earth except probably you, partner. But you just got to drive it out low and hope that somehow you hit it absolutely perfect. But no real chance for this one to go through.
Just a 1-yard pickup on the play, and it'll be 2nd down.
Well, it's tough to be a defender in today's NFL because there's so many things to account for in today's passing game, including the back sneaking out of the backfield. Not quite as bad as a turkey bowl where you have that center-eligible stuff, but still a lot of guys to account for.
Now, meanwhile, here's a 2nd down throw that's knocked away and incomplete. Well, those two have hooked up for a touchdown once already in this game, that time unable to find the completion.
Yeah, it just appeared they wanted to get him out into open space and try and get him the football. As you mentioned, unable to connect.
On 3rd down, Mariota. Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. Bud Dupree with a big-time sack on 3rd down, and it'll be a loss of 7. Man, he got in there so quickly, Charles. What could the offense have done? And that's blocked. The Steelers get it. So much for pinning him really deep. Short punt could have pinned him inside the 10. Now great field position the other way.
It's never good when you're punting the ball and your eyes see the ball go back behind you.
No.
In however form, whether it's over your head or to the side, never good. Now it becomes a race to get to the football so they don't pick it up and take it all the way.
And they'll go with a ground attack here. Dropped at the 35. Able to display his agility, but not much room to operate. 2 yards on the pickup there. It'll be 2nd and 8.
They tried a quick hitter inside, but that one was swallowed up because what they're hoping, those big defensive linemen will take the bait and move laterally and open up a crease that they can run through. Didn't happen on that play.
Now Bradford on 2nd down. And incomplete there. A nice hit. Jars the ball free and brings up 3rd down.
It's a lot of contact going on there, and in the end, unable to keep 2 hands on the football and bring it into his body.
Everything looked pretty good until the finish. And the Steelers on 3rd down, lacking much success, just 2 for 7 to this point. This is 3rd and 8. Working out of the gun, Bradford fighting through pressure. Finding a safety valve here. That's complete. And brought down, but not before they're inside the 25. It's a Pittsburgh 1st down, a gain of 13. Boy, the evolution of the game and how these guys on plays like that can get out of the pocket, keep plays alive, it just makes things so much harder for defenses.
It really does, and we're talking about an era in the game where the quarterbacks are the most athletically gifted that we've seen in a bunch. I mean, when you talk about collectively, it's unbelievable. So their ability to move is practiced now. It's not necessarily, oh, he just took off and you guys figure it out. When he takes off, everyone knows where to go now. They know how to run routes, change things, make themselves presentable for the quarterback. It's a lot of time that they put in on it. It's not just your static 1, 2, 3. This is where the ball goes anymore.
So after the incompletion, 2nd and 10 from the 22. A 2nd down throw for Bradford. Throwing the out route incomplete. It's McDonald. And down inside the 15, shy of the 10. A Steeler 1st down on the pickup of 11 yards.
Partner, it's a lot of fun watching the NFL now, isn't it? Because when the big fella runs routes, it used to be when we were kids, he'd run about 3 different routes, and that was it. Now he can run anything and catch the balls we just saw there.
Ball start, offense.
They get the tackle, Marcus Gilbert, second-round pick back in 2011 out of Florida. The false start backs him up 5, 1st and 15. And they'll go ground game here, the tailback. So he got free of 1 tackle but couldn't do a whole lot else. He'll get 3 of those penalty yards back here, leaving him with a 2nd and 12.
Well, obviously, they would have at least liked to have gotten back to the original line of scrimmage. Instead, now, they're dealing with 2nd and long.
I thought they would have passed it after the penalty. Probably wish they would have now. Bradford to throw. And he is caught at the 7-yard line. And he's brought down. The passing game in rhythm right now for Pittsburgh. There's another first down. And now the passing game here in the second quarter starting to heat up a little bit.
Don't you feel the rhythm starting to happen, right? You see it. Now the confidence is starting to rise. I think now the play caller, because that has happened, you lean on it a little bit more. You don't go totally away from running the football, but you do say, guess what? We can throw it. We can throw it well with a whole lot of confidence.
He came out ready to play. That's 3 tackles for a loss, Charles. We're only in the second quarter.
And that's problematic for the guys trying to run offense because that means he's got a pretty good idea of what they're doing and is actually beating them to the point of attack and making those plays. You have to think about some...
And caught in the end zone. Touchdown, Steelers. Bucky Hodges, his 2nd touchdown on the season. And the Steelers are able to strike for 6.
I wonder if he changed anything on his play sheet or they just executed better. Because they had 2 previous drives and ended in field goals. Before this one, they finally were able to put into the end zone.
Well, whatever he did, speaking of the offensive coordinator, might be using that formula going forward. It worked there.
Yeah, it worked very well. He and his field general in pretty good sync right now.
First down throw for Bradford. Throwing for his running back, and he's got him complete. So a nice job to break the 1 tackle, but not much daylight after that as he's brought down. 5 yards on the pickup, and it'll be a 2nd down. One thing I think that's safe to say defensively, the tackling's been really good.
And because of that, it's been very, very hard for them to move the ball because you're not getting the benefits of run after catch. They're tackling them almost on the spot. That means they have to run extra plays, harder to move it.
Incomplete, almost intercepted. They haven't picked him off yet. Would have been a great time for the first, but instead it's 3rd down. They got the win last week despite not having any interceptions. Tried to come up with one there, could not. But there's a stat category called PBU, pass breakup. That's important, too, when they got one.
Yeah, there's no doubt.
Oh, and this ball's tipped and intercepted. Picked off right around the 43. And they will take over possession of the football at their 42-yard line.
Well, they didn't exactly show patience there, did they? Just down a score, they come out firing right away and compound things by throwing an interception. They put their defense in a really tough spot.
And now out comes Houston. They were forced to punt last time. Now, I doubt sincerely that they'll have to punt here because they're gifted with terrific field position.
I don't even want to think about the idea that they would end up punting starting with this type of field position. Neither do they. Great starting spot, great opportunity to run your full playbook. If they want to take a shot here, they can go ahead and do it.
Come on, let's go. Grand 38.
Now a handoff looking right. And he'll lose yardage here. Back at the 41. It's a loss of a yard there, and now 2nd down.
Well, Brandon, pace comes into play now because they've got the advantage. They've got the football, but they've got to be very careful about what speed they're going to play. You know, my music teacher back in New Paltz, Mrs. Bythema Bagley, used to say, don't go prestissimo when you really want to go largo. And what she meant by that is don't go too fast when you really want to go at a nice, slow, deliberate pace.
I am speechless. I am without speech. Now a second down throw for Mariota. He will find Davis on the left side, complete. And he's able to get this one out closer to midfield across the 45. 6 yards is the pickup, and that'll lead to a third down. This offense so far on third down, they've converted a third of their opportunities, 3 for 9. This is 3rd and 4. Mariota to throw it. Now they go screen. It's complete. He's got a first down and then some inside the 40. And down to the 16-yard line. That one goes for 36 yards.
Couldn't just sit on it here, could they? Had to throw the ball on third down. Got the big completion in the pickup. Fresh set of downs now. They've got to feel great.
And defensively a backbreaker. So the big play means just like that, they'll operate from the red zone now on first down. Again to Henry. And he's going to get it inside the 10 to the 7-yard line. Give him 9 on the carry that time, and they're set up with a 2nd and 1. Well, with the fumble he had earlier, we know how key keeping the football is here. That fumble earlier probably at the forefront of his mind. Just hold on to this thing.
It's also at the forefront of the mind of the guys who are trying to get the ball from him. And since they've seen him drop it on the ground before, they're doing everything possible to have him do it again. They need that turnover.
They give him 2 yards there as they're set up now with a 1st and goal.
Well, it is our business to analyze what we saw out there. And on that play, I saw a defense staying in base, not taking a chance, not blitzing in a situation where they absolutely need the football back. That's either a case of overthinking it or not thinking it through.
If you do blitz, do you have to be careful about where you're coming from, or are you just coming from all angles?
You have to be careful about where you're coming from, obviously. But at this stage, you have to take a few chances as well.
Mariota. Stepping up, he's going to keep it. He'll wind up getting right about 4 there on the scramble, and it's 2nd down.
Well, it looked like a quick hitter, a 3-step drop, but when it's not there, what do? He elects to try and escape through the massive bodies up the middle, and he does so and picks up positive yardage.
Second and goal from the 1. They come out here in the eye. He's going to get it running right. And he tried to bounce it outside, but they'll stop him behind the line. They'll wind up losing 3. And now it's 3rd down.
The short field shrinks even more with the type of bodies they brought in on that play. Those extra tight ends, they weren't able to secure their blocks, and that one ended up going backwards.
A lot of tired bodies on that field, but this is a big play, 3rd and goal. From the gun, Mariota. And he's in. Touchdown, Houston. Marcus Mariota with his 3rd touchdown pass of the afternoon. And his guys find a way to stretch that lead.
In order to lead in a game, you're going to get plenty of contributors, but that's his 2nd touchdown catch of this game. He's one of the key guys in this one.
And you better believe he'll be looking for the hat trick here as this one continues to go. Suckup for the extra point. Extra point up and good by Suckup. And that will ensure that it will take a touchdown and a 2-point conversion to tie it. So that drive takes them down the field in 8 plays. And the result, a Houston touchdown. The kickoff team on the field now as they will send this one away. Switzer now to return. Oh, an absolutely filthy juke. He's got some space now.
There's no downplaying that we all knew that this was a critical possession, and to get a return like that to start things off, that's the spark that they needed. That's the spark they were looking for.
Out comes the Steeler offense now, ready to see what they can do here. Good starting field position for them as they come up 1st and 10. They go back to the air here after the INT on the last drive. And he overshot him there. It's out of bounds, incomplete.
This defense was definitely alert to the possibility of the deep ball, and they were more than ready for it.
They've got the lead, fourth quarter. Maybe can expect more passes like that downfield. On second down, Bradford again. The ball popped in the air and intercepted. Picked off at the 49. Agreed, that's twice now in this fourth quarter.
As a quarterback, a lot of times you think it's all on you to make plays when you're losing. And here, the play's not there, but he throws it anyway.
And now out comes Houston. And they're hoping to redo their efforts in the last drive when they got into the end zone.
And just think of what it's like now on the sideline. Because when you score a touchdown, you have to go over and look at the tablet and see what you did on the last drive. When you scored points, it's a whole lot better view than when you're trying to figure out how to fix things there.
On the counter, it's Henry. And he'll get this one across midfield and down into Steeler territory. 3 yards on the pickup there, and it'll be second down. Got to figure now, after getting that turnover, they're just going to be happy to keep the ball on the ground, right?
This is where covering the football, taking care of the ball, all the ball security terms that have ever been used, they come into play for the guys on offense right now.
On a heavy rush, and down he goes. Bud Dupree in there to pick up his second sack now of the afternoon. And here the pressure from the outside linebacking spot.
And normally when that happens and they're able to get home, that means other guys on his team helped him out a lot. That they occupied people to allow it to be no less than a one-on-one situation, allows him to get home.
Mariota from the gun on third down. And he couldn't hang on to it through the contact. Incomplete.
Anytime a defense can sit back in a zone like that, it tends to create a lot of congestion in the middle of the field. Makes it very hard to slot one in.
Looked like I-4 at rush hour in your hometown of Orlando, Florida. An absolute mess. A 40-yard punt, no return. And the Steelers are going to take over 1st and 10 deep in their own territory. Sam Bradford heading back out as he and his offense get ready to go again. And the interception that ended their previous drive, that might be one we look back on and say that was the turning point of this game.
Hey, partner, guess what? There's still time for a few more turning points in this ball game. They're only one score down.
Yeah, true. We could have some twists and turns. Stay tuned. And he got a little aggressive too early.
And he did, wanting that quick takeoff as the ball was snapped, but I think sometimes those big guys on offense, they're pretty cagey too, right? They make those little sudden moves or those little subtle moves that get you to jump.
Bradford. Wilson's got it complete. And they're able to bring him down at the 20. That throw good for 4. It's second down. First play of the drive in their hip pocket. Of course, the focus here has to be the touchdown or the two-point conversion. Field goals are going to help you.
Yeah, but how about that first play of the drive? Just to get them started, nice gain, got some positive momentum going. They're on their way, and they don't have to rush.
Throwing, Bradford. He's got Smith here. And he'll go down just shy of the 25 at the 24-yard line. First target, first catch, and a first down.
Many different ways to create space, but on that play, he did it with that big, wide body of his. Didn't get a whole lot of yardage on the play, but it did what it was supposed to, pick up a first down.
Bradford on first down. Throwing over the middle, but it's incomplete. Vance McDonald, the tight end, was the target, and that'll bring up second down.
It's always tough for the guys throwing the football when they think they got a completion and the ball's almost there, and then someone sneaks a hand or two in and bats it away.
From the 24, they'll go again on 2nd and 10. Throwing again, Bradford on 2nd and 10. And he'll get this one way up just shy of the 45-yard line. A good pickup there of 20 yards. They don't need to run another play here before the 2-minute warning. Let's see if they do it anyway. Bradford now to throw on first down. Over the middle, hauled in by Smith-Schuster. And able to break one tackle, but then quickly brought down. But a nice little gain. So the Steelers with the football as we get you reset. They come up on a second down now in a game that looks like it's going to go down to the wire. That last catch short of the marker by just a yard leaves them with a very manageable 2nd and 1. They'll throw again. Bradford. This one complete. Right side to McDonald. And he's got this down to the 35. 12 yards there as they keep this drive rolling. It's another first down. Back to throw. That is caught at the 7. And he's brought down after a very nice gain. And that one results in 35 yards. He'll look to throw. And did he get the feet down? No. They'll say he did not. It's incomplete. So he's unable to complete it there, and just not the game that you would expect from him. He's been off the mark really start to finish.
Yeah, it makes you wonder what exactly is going on. Is he a little bit dinged up here, or is it just off just by a bit? Maybe he can get it back in this situation. He'll need to.
After review of the play, the ruling on the field stands.
So they went to the booth to see if that was a touchdown, and they have decided it will not be a touchdown. 6 points off the board. They'll try to run with Harris. And he's into the end zone. Touchdown, Steelers. A great effort there. His 2nd touchdown on the season. And the Steelers are within a 2-point conversion of tying this game. Here we go now as we get set for a big 2-point conversion. Back to throw. And he can't get a throw off. He's taken down. What a huge play at this point in the game. And a failure to convert and tie the game. Now the pressure shifts back to the defense.
But I think it was the right play. I think it was the right call to try and tie the game there. Kick an extra point, you're still down 1. What's the sense? I like what they did.
So down only 2 now. Still a chance to finagle their way into field goal range if they can get this onside kick. Now here's a timeout coming on the defensive side of the ball, as they'll head to the sideline and talk over what to do next. And it looks like this one won't work out. Hands team able to secure the football. A tough one there. They certainly wanted that when they needed it, but they didn't absolutely have to get it. They still do have 3 timeouts.
You're exactly right. They had to attempt it. But even though they didn't get it, as you noted, with 3 timeouts, if they can get these stops on defense, all hope is not lost.
And now out comes Houston. They have the football. They're looking good, but the lead is just 2. So any mistake in a field goal can beat you. They got to be careful.
And that's where it gets difficult, because you don't want that to leak into your thinking. You want to play like, hey, we've got the advantage. We can close this out. Don't play from fear, and they can win this game.
See if they can play fear-free and hang on. This, in all probability, another run here on 2nd and 8. And now he'll tuck it and run. Now the Steelers use the 2nd of their 3 timeouts as they'll talk it over here before what will be an important 3rd down. And now a first chance for the backup here to throw. And incomplete. The contact made the ball roam free and brings up 4th down. You can tell they were hoping for a flag there offensively. Several on the sideline motioning, hey, why not a penalty? Why not a penalty? What did you see?
Yeah, I think you've got to let them play, and the officials are instructed. If there's contact coming from both sides, no flag. Let them fight it out.
And forces fourth down. Here's Brett Kern now. Remember, though, he did have one blocked earlier. And a nice job here on special teams. This will be down inside the 10 at the 8-yard line. The Steelers offense now, they get ready to head back on the field. They're only in need of a field goal, a decent amount of time on the clock. So tell me if I'm wrong. You don't have to be too panicked here.
No, not at all. I agree with you. And this is where your preparation and your confidence comes into play. They've worked on these situations.
Yeah, they practice this all the time.
They practice it all the time. They know what they want to get done. And in a lot of cases, the great competitors, they love this situation. They think they can go ahead and get it done.
They practiced it. We'll see if practice makes perfect. He's back to throw. Got a man. It's Brown. And he'll get it up to the 12-yard line here. Only 3 yards on the catch. It's third down. They'll look to throw. Now a desperation throw deep downfield. And he couldn't hang on to it through the contact. Incomplete.
So another big shot dodged there defensively. Now they're just one more incompletion away from salting away this victory. And I know this feeling. They're almost giddy, but they have to stay focused and locked in. They can make one big mistake and throw it all away.
One score down. Here we go. They're going to go for it here on fourth down. As expected, they're going for it to keep the drive alive. He's going to let it fly. And no, it's incomplete. They had to go for it with such little time remaining. And that'll be just about all she wrote for this one.
Everyone gears up for third down, talks about the importance of it. But fourth down, that's truly the moment of truth play, isn't it?
Everything's dialed up a little bit more. And, it's such a momentum play, isn't it?
Absolutely, because it can flip either way depending on who converts on fourth down.
And now out comes Houston. 2-point game. They have the football. Their defense was able to do their job. Now can the offense just hold on here, Charles?
And they'd better, because after the job the defense did to give them the ball back with this lead, it's time for them to seal the deal and allow them to go to the locker room with a victory.
They'll try to seal the deal. Here we go. The stop for no gain brings up 2nd and 10 from the 20. Mariota with a knee to the ground, and that should be it.
And there it is, the standard symbol. Taking a knee means that one team won and the other one obviously lost the ball game. But now that team that won is 2-2. After the first 4 games, I think they're okay with a 2-2 start. Not overly happy, but at the same time, not depressed either.
You mentioned to me breaking down a season in quadrants. So the first quadrant is kind of a check, as you said, for okay. Not great, not bad.
Yeah, right now they're just holding serve. They look forward to their next 4. Maybe they can make a surge there.
A road win in the National Football League. Charles, you never take that for granted, no matter who you're playing, no matter where you're playing.
You take it and you run with it. And you know you primed the pump all week in your own home facility. No one thinks we can do this. Only people who believe are right here in this room. And then you go on the road, band together, and get it done.
So for our visitors, it'll be a 500 start as the win gets them back to 2-2. And they'll head back home next week to take on the Houston Texans. Meanwhile, for Pittsburgh, they'll drop down to 1-3. And fortunately for them, they'll have the early bye next week as they return to action in Week 6. So that'll just about do it for Charles Davis. I'm Brandon Gaudin. You've been watching the NFL on EA Sports. For more, log on to easports.com. With that, we sign off from Heinz Field.